rates amongst teenagers within high schools. According to a demographic survey conducted in Zimbabwe, over 5 million students walk at least 10 kilometers so as to be able to access educational material like textbooks and also get a... Now imagine yourself waking up a bit too much. Now, these students get to school feeling all frustrated and tired, and the concentration levels is very low. Examination boards like ZimSit have been affected by this because of the poor quality of grades that these students produce.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, education all around the world was disrupted. Students all over the globe missed approximately 2 trillion hours of physical learning due to the pandemic. Education boards like Cambridge caused by the pandemic.
Hekima Inc. is a software development company we created with the aim of making education accessible and available to all. And as such, we have created our application Study Buddy. Through a human-centered design approach, we're able to create an application that serves our major customers, that is, the learners.
Our platform provides a space where students can engage in the best study habits known to scholars. We managed to make educational material accessible and available to every student without needing infrastructure. In our application, we incorporated teachers that assist the student with personal assignments, private tutorship, and conduct virtual lessons for a fixed payment. We have managed to reach 10 countries in Africa, including South Africa, Tanzania, and Kenya. All this did not come without its fair share of challenges. Delay in the launch of Study Buddy prevented it from being accessed by students all around the world. This negatively impacted the business as we could not reach out user interface, but with constant tests and trials, we were able to perfect the design that was the best for our target market. We also had challenges with the time management and conflicts of interest with company members. This also stunted our growth as a company as we could not get things done on time. However, through the use of project management processes such as responsive to tasks being completed on time. As a team, at one point we were on the verge of giving up. But from the positive outcomes of the use of Study Buddy in schools, we are motivated to power on and keep improving Study Buddy for the benefit of our users.
Every day after I come back from school, I help my parents with running the family shop. I used to have problems with balancing between the shop and my studies, but I found the solution: Study Buddy. With Study Buddy, I can talk to my teachers, get access to notes, and also discuss with other students, all at the comfortability of the tuck shop. I also wasn't able to go for extra lessons, but now with Study Buddy, I can.
Schools that use Study Buddy recorded an improved pass rate, and it also motivated students to bring out innovative ideas and enjoy studying.
So how did you do it?
Well, I used
education for all.
Listen, I'm so excited that you decided to join us from wherever you are in the world. We are incredibly excited to share with you this amazing, amazing young group of students that have taken themselves to the highest heights of success. And today we're going to have a conversation with them about how they became globally recognized entrepreneurs. Before we do that, I'm going to share a little bit about the organizations that are represented here, and then we'll jump straight into the conversation. This is a collaboration between Junior Achievement Africa and Project Management Institute Educational Foundation. Junior Achievement Africa is an NGO that's dedicated to empowering young people.
Production director and project manager.
And I know we have supporters that are here to help you get to the level of success that you are on. And so, Memory, please introduce yourself as well.
Thank you. I'm Memory Gwena, chapter president for PMI Zimbabwe. We are a partner with JA Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, we're really looking forward to hearing more about how this partnership has really helped Hekima Inc., especially when we found out incredible news about you. Let's start off by just giving us a little bit more information about your background and why you decided to start the business, and then state the business name and just a little bit more about your business as well.
Our business is called Hekima Inc. And Hekima Inc. most of the time because she was sick. So we decided to create an application that would allow her to study away from school and have all the information at the end. So it would allow us as students to create something that would help our fellow learners, such as you, to not access such material or go to school very often. So we decided to create an application called Study Buddy. So what Study Buddy is it's a study companion app that helps learners to study away from school while also getting assistance from teachers and also friends and family on the application. Thank you.
Wow. You know what? It's really interesting to hear that you guys saw a need and then you helped meet that need, not just with having conversations, but actually saying, how can we get together and create something that truly does help people to be more educated right where they are. And we know oftentimes in business, there's a lot of things that make you feel good about business, especially when you start seeing profits and these things are going well. But the real test of a true business professional is how they handle adversity. So talk a little bit about maybe some of the challenges that you experienced while you were developing this company and how you overcame them.
Okay, so in developing that, we could be able to make the company functional and to move it forward as a group.
Okay. Wow. And any other, I want to throw in a caveat. I know that oftentimes when you're working with sometimes your friends and maybe not your friends, there's frustrations that happen. Maybe tell me about a time when you were frustrated with some of your team members or one of your team members, and then how you handled that.
Okay, so
she said, I have something to say. Let me talk about this. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so before Nigeria, we are a group of really opinionated people, like hard-headed. So Blessing and I Blessing is our finance director. We often butt heads because he has something that he wants to happen and I will be opposing it. So before Nigeria, we had a problem, I think, about the interface. And then he said, no, we're going to do this. And I said, but no, we have to do this. So we really just then sat down and then we decided to vote on most of the things. Because if we didn't do that, then there would be a lot of conflict within our company.
Yeah. I know that communication is key, especially when you're dealing with, as you say, very opinionated people, or stubborn people or hard-headed people, especially when people have an idea about exactly how they want to do something. But it really shows you, the importance of working together and working towards a vision. You mentioned being in Nigeria and that global competition. So talk about the different pitches that you had, right? And then how you felt along the way when you won in your country, then when you represented your country in Nigeria, and then we'll get to the big competition in just a minute. But how did you feel going through those processes, knowing that you were winning at all of these levels?
Okay, so we started off at the provincial level in our country. And I remember going to the provincial competition there was a lot of anticipation, anxiety, because I remember it was more or less still an idea. Our application was in testing mode. We hadn't really gone through everything. So we had a lot of anxiety and there were quite a lot of good ideas here. So I remember thinking this competition, if we make it through, I would be surprised because I'm kind of the pessimist of the group. So everyone else though is shouting at me, you mustn't do that. You must be optimistic, have hope. But I really said, guys, are you sure we can make it through this? But yeah, then we were very happy, surprised at the provincial. So I really do you think I have to give credit to maybe the judges? They saw the potential in us that we didn't really see as much. So yeah. And then after the provincial competitions, we went to the nationals. By then our application was more refined. Everything was getting into tune. So it was really better going into the nationals. We didn't really have as much anxiety or doubt because we were confident in our product. So when we won, we were very happy. We knew there was stiff competition, but we had the hope that we actually, if we don't win, we would be surprised. But yeah. And then going to Nigeria, we're now competing with champions from each country. So it's a bit more intimidating to get to that stage. But I would like to think we just kept an open mind. We didn't really look down on anyone or think ours is better than anyone. We just had the hope and the faith that whatever outcome it is, we are grateful. And when we won, we were so happy because it opened so many doors for us. We're able to do so much with that exposure that we got from the regional stage. Yes. And then after that, there was the global stage. And on the global stage, it was very intense. It was very intense. We're so worried at the meeting where we're going to have the global competition because we're competing with regional champions. So thinking that all over the world, there's people who had the best ideas from around the world, and it really seemed like it was going to be such a tough competition. And we were surprised. I think if you were to see the video of us winning, we jumped around we're so surprised and overall we're so happy. It wasn't really about winning at the global stage. It was more of the exposure that the global stage would give us as individuals and as companies.
Wow. And I think it's just a testament of the amount of hard work, the amount of perseverance, and the amount of collaboration, right, that took into making you all confident to take the risk, to take the chances that you did, and it paid off really well. We know that it's there's an old proverb that says that if you want to go quickly, go by yourself. But if you want to go further, then take others with you. And we know that you all are part of a community of support. And so, Memory, I want to bring you in now just to talk a little bit about the support that people like yourself are able to give this young group of people and why you decided to be a part of Hekima Inc.'s journey, and just talk a little bit more about that process for you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, this has been an exciting journey for us. So right from the onset, when Tawanda, our Youth and Social Impact Director, engaged JA Zimbabwe, being that they offer entrepreneurial and financial skills to students. So we thought if we would partner with the JA Zimbabwe, would also bring in the project management skills for life to them, then they will become awesome in their projects or whatever initiatives. So we decided to get an MOU with the company, our chapter, and JA Zimbabwe, which I facilitated, and we signed an MOU. So even from the onset, when JA Zimbabwe decided to launch the students' competition nationally, we were part of that initiative as well. And I had the honor of being the guest speaker at that event. And it was very exciting, dealing with young students. They are very enthusiastic and they are willing to learn, and it's energizing, So then these competitions came about. At provincial level, we provided judges from PMI, from the chapter, and also at national level, we had judges, and all the time we were attending those sessions to support. And Tawanda Matanda was a judge at the national level, and our past president, Flavius Coffey, was a judge at the provincial level. So we never thought that this thing was going to go far as it did. Just what we're just supporting, and But I tell you, it was such a pleasant surprise for us, and it's been such a journey. Even when they came from Nigeria, we were invited to go and do some celebrations to celebrate their success. And we are very excited about this partnership. Thank you.
And so, Memory, I remember hearing about, well, I remember being there in Nigeria where all of these wonderful schools were competing. And I was just happy for anyone. But when I found out Hekima won, I was really excited. And then when I watched online and saw that they won the global competition, you would have thought I was watching, the World Cup. And, there was a team from Africa that won the World Cup. I was just celebrating. I was excited. And I know it really felt amazing for me. Now, what about yourself? When you found out, right, that they won the overall competition, they beat out schools from all over the world. I mean, teams from all over the world. How did you feel when you found out that?
I tell you, it was like unbelievable to think that not just from Africa, but from Zimbabwe. It was such a pleasant surprise. I tell you, we were so, so excited. That was so exciting for all of us. And at one time we thought, is this really true? Yeah, so that's a kind of excitement that we had.
Well, we are definitely grateful for the support of volunteers just like yourself, because we know that it's impossible to do the work, financial incentive. So what was the prize money that you all?
So from the global competitions, we won a prize money of $15,000. And we are planning on. So from the get-go, due to the book we're given, it was called PMIEF Guide, the Project Management Guide. It allowed us to actually make our processes more refined, as we knew what had to be done and when to do it. Because one of the major processes of project management was planning, and through planning everything out, we were able to foresee all the things that could go wrong and make sure that they won't go wrong by actually putting in contingency plans. While also it allowed us to divide tasks among ourselves. We are a team of 6 pupils from Maratha Christian High School. So by dividing tasks among ourselves, it made the work easier so that we would be able to easily balance between our school life and also Hekima Inc.
Great. There are some students out there watching who are where you guys were, where they're building their program. Maybe they can't even imagine that they can go to, let alone beat out people on the provincial level and then represent their country, at JA's competition. They can't even imagine, right, being at the global stage. What would be some words of encouragement that you will offer from them? And I would like to hear from both of you all. Encourage that young student.
So we do projects all the time. So I had challenges in implementing projects. I thought, how do I improve my skill set in project management? Then someone just advised me to do PMP, which I did. And it really helped me in implementing my projects better than before. And I also got even other people from my company to come through and also do the certification. Then later on, I knew about becoming a PMI member and the benefits. For some years, I ran with that. Then one day, I just came across the local chapter. They had a dinner, like a braai, where I was invited. Then I went there. So during that session, the VP membership said to me, I mark you. I want you to come and be part of the volunteers of that chapter. I said, okay. I didn't know what that was just, and got to learn much from them. So initially I was a VP administration, and then after that I was voted in as the chapter president. I now travel the world. So I've also been to Nigeria for our regional conference. So it also opens up opportunities to network on a regional level, just like our team from Hekima. And also, in addition to that, we had an opportunity to go to the Global Summit in Las Vegas last year. So you also have that exposure, and so for me, volunteering has opened up so much, and I would encourage by also bringing up other volunteers, for instance, Skills for Life, to other youths as well. And to me, this would help them not to be idle. They can now go out and, there's been so many issues of substance abuse, mental health issues. Sometimes it's because of idleness. So this would would help out a lot to help our youth to be occupied and have something to do. And we have got discussions right now with more than 4 universities, seeing that it's actually working. So yeah, come on, guys. Let's help empower our youth. And we see that our future, even as a country, as a nation, as a region, even global, is in these youth. They are our tomorrow. So yes, let's not tire in empowering them. It will pay back somehow. And it's so satisfying for me to think that something that I thought was just something I was just doing, has resulted in this. And we want to take it further to more youths and make sure that, yes, even on a national level, we impact this to most of the youths and bring growth to our nation. Thank you.
Memory, thank you so much. Those are such wise words, and I can tell you are very, very, very passionate, not only about PMI, but about volunteering and about helping impact the lives of youth. It comes across as you speak. So thank you for being a part of our community.
Thank you.
It's really exciting to hear that, a person like yourself with so much experience has been a part of the lives of these youth. And just hearing you speak, right, I can hear the passion about why you decided to volunteer and just your level of commitment. So thank you so much. And it makes me think about, right, so many other individuals that have been a part of this process. You all will be able to hear from somebody else who's extremely experienced, extremely dedicated. That's Tawanda, which is the Youth and Social Impact Director. You all will be able to hear word from him later. And one thing I didn't mention is, that Junior Achievement Africa has been nominated for the 2nd year in a row for the Nobel Peace Prize. So, that speaks highly to the caliber of organization that really is investing in our communities all across the world and all across the continent of Africa. So, Hekima, once again, congratulations on your success. I'm so grateful that you decided to wake up early